everybody. It's great to see you tune into our channel. Hey, today we're going to talk about a different approach to blocks that you've seen previously. The blocks that you've seen previously are more of the hard dynamic blocks you would see in a lot of karate or taekwondo styles. This one's going to be more of a flowing block. It's designed as I indicated. There's two styles of blocks. The blocks are designed to be not only blocks to actually move a technique away from your center line or your body entirely, but they're used to actually maim the body part that you're blocking. Well, that's the hard style block. And then there is the softer, more fluid block. And that's what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to cover 3 different blocks, and 2 of them separately, and then we're going to combine them together to form a different block. The first one we're going to do is called a inside circular block. And this is when someone is coming in at you with a punch or going to be grabbing you somehow. And again, the idea when you do blocks, you want to, whatever your center line is, you want to make sure that you defend that center line. So it's so that way whatever's coming at you is deflected somehow, whether it be a hard block or in this case a softer block, a circular block. So this is, if you've seen the old Karate Kid movies, Miyagi would have teach Daniel, his student, with the movements that look like this. This is like wax on, and then there's one that's called wax off. Well, we don't call it that. But this is an inside circular. So if you ever reflect on that movie, this is kind of like this. An inside circular is, I like to describe it like you're polishing a mirror. You have a rag on your hand or a window, and you're just polishing it, making it nice and pretty so you can see through it. Going from the outside to the inner line of the body is the inside. Just like this is an inside block, this is an inside circular block. And we're going to stop it right about no further than past the opposite shoulder. When we do this in a guarding stance, we would actually turn the body just a little bit, about a quarter turn, so that the body's not full facing in case the block is faster than the striking tool and it gets in. So you want to have a quarter turn, so there may be a way to cut that center line from being attacked directly. So again, here's how it is. If we were in a neutral stance and in a classroom we'd have a chamber position just working on the form of the block. If I did this with my right arm, my right hand, I'm going to bring my hand outward into a nice circular movement and block and stop it right about just past my center line of my body. The same thing goes with my left. It comes out and stops just like this. So if I'm switching arms, it looks like this. When I'm in a guarding stance, practically speaking, to defend yourself, if I was to do my rear arm or my right hand circular block, something's coming in, that's exactly how the movement would look. And then come back to protect your body. The front hand. All right, so here's where we're going to take you on this little adventure about the inside circular block. So now we're going to have Mr. Anderson step in. He's going to throw a couple of punches or maybe try to grab my center line, my body or my shoulders or whatever. And we're going to show you how this inside circular block actually is applied. Okay, so if he was coming at me and I'm just mainly in a neutral stance, and maybe he's reaching over to try to grab me or something like this, it is a nice, simple, but quick deflection. And if you notice, when he did that, it changes his direction of his body because of the momentum that the blocking tool delivers to his arm. So if he reached with his opposite arm, and I do an inside circular this way. Now it's different from there's something called a parry. We'll get more into that later on. But the parry is more of a direct, straight line block versus that circular movement. The circular movement is very subtle but direct. So as he's reaching, just like this, it could be a small circle or it could be a wider circle depending upon the execution of how I want to present the next technique. So if he's in a guarding stance, I'm in a guarding stance. So if he's, let's just say, doing jabs or a cross punch, if he's doing a cross punch, boom, and I'm circling this way. If you look at the point of view from here, you'll see how my hand is circling. It's doing that Mr. Miyagi says a wax on. I say polish the mirror, okay? So I'm just deflecting. And notice it doesn't go past my opposite shoulder. With this hand right here, it's just right here. If you notice, it doesn't go past my opposite shoulder. So if I'm blocking the left, it doesn't go past my right, and then I'm back in to a guarding position, okay? So we'll do it a couple of times. So he's going to do a jab and then a cross punch. 1, 2. And notice how when I'm doing this, I'm slightly turning, especially doing the rear arm, okay? I want to get my shoulder into it as well. For my front arm, I don't have to do that as much because I'm already quarter turned from a good guarding stance. So he's here, and let's just say, for instance, he's reaching for my shoulder too. Just like this, okay? If he's reaching for my shoulder here, just like this. Using this over and over again, you'll get used to the timing work if you're working with a partner, how quick they are, how fast you have to move as well. And then again, if you go back into our previous videos, it also deals with watching the chest and shoulder when you do that. So that's the inside circular block. All right, guys, so we took you through the inside circular block. Now we're going to do the opposing side, the outside circular block. And again, it's like polishing a mirror or polishing a window off, okay? This is where Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid says wax off. So it's going from the center line out to the shoulder of that blocking tool, okay? So it's going to, if I'm blocking with my right, I'm bringing in a circular pattern, crossing the center line, and then I try not to go past that shoulder line. I don't want to go way over here because I'm exposing myself too much for another attack that, you know, my opponent might actually see coming into to come and get me, okay? So, Mr. Anderson, if you don't mind, kind of just show them an outside circular block facing them. So, from a neutral stance, yeah, just from a neutral stance, and from maybe a chambered position. If you watch him, again, it's about imagining that there's a window or something right in front of you, and it's about practicing the form. It's a circular, smooth block. Nothing dynamically hard. We're not throwing power into it. We're not muscling the opponent. It's just a nice fluid motion. So he'll do a couple of them with the right and then the left, how it's circular. And he can either do it midline where his waistline and chest is, all the way up to blocking towards his face in case there's an attack that way as well. So here's how this works. And I'm going to go ahead and change the pattern. I'm going to attack him this time. Okay? So if we were in a guarding position, and I'm throwing that cross punch with my right hand, okay? His outside circular might come from that front arm, and it circles around, polishing that mirror, and throwing my direction off, going towards his backside. We'll do this a few times, just with a cross punch. Or it could even be a punch. I could just reach out there and try to grab him. Boom. So he's going to just do that. And then for the rear hand, or the left circular outside block, it's the same thing. And he's redirecting my energy away from his center line again. So we'll do it again, same thing. And a couple of drills that you can do is if you're able to get with a partner, just reach out there close enough to touch each other and maybe tag each other with your hands. Nothing serious to hurt each other, and just get used to timing and using both hands to do an outside or an inside circular like we did last time. So if he watches this, if I come with a jab, he's going to do an outside circular, and then I come this way. So it's maybe one of these people are doing the old boxing 1-2. So it's outside, and he's redirecting. Nothing dynamic, nothing hard. It's subtle, it's quick, and it carries good momentum. So that is the outside circular block. All right, Now we're going to put those together to form another block. It's called a windmill block in our system, and it is the inside circular block traveling with an outside circular block. And it just covers both angles, coming in to the center line, moving away from the center line. And if you notice, both hands kind of move together. I'm doing this slowly so you can see the rhythmic pattern that I want you guys to work on. Both hands move together, and when the other one, palms facing outward and coming across, doing an inside, you're crossing the other arm underneath the inside circular block, not from the top part. So I want to travel on the underneath side or the outer side, and then I carry the person's arm further out away from them. So it goes 1 and 2. And then I can go the opposite way. Inside circular, carrying it with an outside circular. This is windmill block to my left, windmill block to my right. And it's very fluid. As I speed it up, that's what it looks like, with one direction to another. Notice I kind of move my body just a little bit. Now, let's see how this applies. Okay, so this is the final step, blending them together with my buddy here. And we're going to work on seeing how this actually applies, using an inside and an outside together, forming that, what we call as a windmill block. Okay, so he's in a guarding stance, I'm in a guarding stance, I'm ready, and as he's traveling forward, I'm doing that inside circular block, and then I carry it a little further. When I do this, watch how his body relocates and turns position to a totally different area, just like this. So just simple. And you want fluidity. You want to touch and carry. You want to touch and carry. If he's going with the opposite, I'm going to touch, and notice how my arm goes on the underneath or the outer side of the outside circular block. Oh, I'm sorry, the inside circular block. So he's carrying, I'm carrying and moving his body in such a manner, just like this. So how we're going to do this is we're going to do one right, windmill block to the right, windmill block to the left. And we're just going to take our time. What I'm doing that you're probably not seeing, but if you watch my eyes, I'm not watching his hands. I'm watching his chest and shoulders. I want you to train that, because that's going to pick up the movement when he starts to attack. And then your body, as you start to train with whatever you're using, will just respond. Okay? So we're going to do the old 1, 2. And so he's going 1, 2, and then 3, 4. 1, 2. Uh-oh, sorry, I messed that one up. Then again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just switched it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's how this works. You're just in that guarding stance, and you're traveling. You're traveling, doing an inside circular to an outside circular. Okay? Have fun with that.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to click on the subscribe button on the YouTube channel for more videos like this. And if you have any questions about our programs, please go to tonglo.com and click on Contact Us.